everyone, welcome back to Midnight English Podcast. Oh, wow. It feels really good to sit here with you again. I'm Maya, and today honestly feels a little different. Like one of those moments when your mind is busy, but your heart just wants something simple, something familiar, something that feels safe and easy to listen to.
Yeah, I totally get that. Hi, friends. I'm Daniel, and I don't know about you, but today feels like a good day for very real English. Not fancy English, not exam English. Just the kind of English you hear when people are relaxed, comfortable, and being themselves.
Exactly. And before we even say today's topic, Daniel, let me ask you something fun and very everyday. When was the last time you had a moment where you just sat there and thought, okay, I actually have a lot on my mind right now?
Oh, wow. Honestly, that was just this morning I woke up and immediately felt like I had so many things to do, so many thoughts, so many small worries. And I remember thinking, okay, slow down, just breathe for a second.
Ah, yes, that feeling is so relatable. And did you notice something interesting in what you just said?
Hmm, let me think. Oh, wow. Yeah, I said I had a lot on my mind without even thinking about the word have.
Exactly. And that's why today's episode is all about one very small word that carries so much meaning, emotion, and real life usage. And that word is have.
Ah, yes, have. Such a simple word, but honestly, one of the most powerful and natural words in everyday English.
And our goal today is not to explain have with grammar rules or long definitions, but to help you feel it, hear it, and use it naturally, the same way native speakers do, without stopping your sentence to think. Let's start with the most basic meaning, have meaning possession, because this is usually the first meaning learners understand, like have a phone, have a car, have a job.
Yes, and this meaning feels very concrete, very real. For example, I have a phone in my pocket, I have a laptop on my desk, and I don't need to think about it. I just say it naturally.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that native speakers use have even when the thing is temporary, not permanent. Like I have a meeting later today, or I have an appointment tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point because learners sometimes think have is only for things you own forever. But no, you can say, I have a cold, I have a headache, I have a free hour right now.
Right, like right now, I have some time to talk with you. And that sounds completely natural.
And emotionally, this use of have is very comforting because it's just stating your reality like I have time, I have energy, or sometimes I don't have energy today.
Yes, and that's such honest English. You don't need fancy words. You can just say, I don't really have the energy today, and people understand you immediately.
Exactly, and that's what native English sounds like. Simple words, honest feelings.
Now let's move to another extremely common and very emotional use of have, and that is have meaning experience, like have a good day, have a bad experience, have a hard time.
Oh, wow, this one is everywhere. And learners often underestimate how powerful this use is because it helps you talk about life, feelings, and memories.
Exactly. For example, you can say, I had a really good day today, or I had a difficult day at work, and that already tells a story.
Yes, and notice how natural that sounds. You don't say I experienced a good day in daily conversation. You say I had a good day.
Right? And you can also say things like, I had a great time with my friends, or I had a tough time learning English at the beginning.
Oh, yes, that one is very real. I often hear students say, I have a hard time speaking English. And that sounds so natural and honest.
And it's very emotional English because you're sharing how something feels, not just what happened.
Exactly, like you can say, I had fun, I had a bad experience, I had an interesting conversation, and suddenly your English feels alive.
This reminds me of a student I taught a few years ago. She was very motivated, but she always felt frustrated when speaking English.
Oh, I can already imagine that situation.
Yes, she understood English very well, but when she wanted to talk about her life, she felt stuck. And one day she told me, I don't know how to explain my feelings in English.
That's such a common struggle.
Exactly. And I remember telling her, you don't need complex words, just use have. And we practiced simple sentences like, I had a bad day, I'm having a hard time, I want to have more confidence.
Oh, wow, that's powerful because those sentences are simple, but very deep emotionally.
Yes. And slowly she started opening up more because she realized English didn't have to be perfect to be meaningful.
Now let's talk about another use that learners hear all the time, and that is have meaning responsibility, especially with have to.
Yes, like I have to work tomorrow, or I have to study tonight. And this is very everyday English.
Exactly, and have to doesn't always feel heavy. Sometimes it's just a fact, like I have to wake up early or I have to answer some emails.
Right? And emotionally, you can even soften it, like I don't really want to, but I have to.
Oh, wow. Yes, that sentence is so real. Everyone says that.
And learners sometimes overthink this, but honestly, have to is just something you feel, not something you analyze.
Exactly. You don't stop and think about grammar. You just say what you feel.
Another very natural use of have is to describe states or situations, like have a problem, have a question, have an idea.
Yes, and this is so useful in real conversation. For example, you can say, I have a question instead of thinking too much.
Or I have a problem with my computer, which sounds very natural.
And emotionally, you can say, I have a feeling, which is such a soft and human expression.
Yes, like I have a feeling today is going to be a good day.
Oh, wow, I love that sentence. It feels calm and hopeful.
All right, let's move a little deeper now, because this is where have starts to feel really human and emotional. Honestly, this is one of my favorite uses of the word, when have means experience something, not physically holding it, but living through it, feeling it, remembering it.
Oh, wow. Yes, I love this part too, because this is the kind of English people use when they talk about life, memories, emotions, good days, bad days, all of it. And learners often understand it, but don't use it enough.
Exactly, like we say, I had a good day or I had a hard day. And that already tells so much without explaining every detail.
Yeah, when someone tells me I had a long day, I instantly understand the feeling. Maybe they're tired, maybe they're mentally exhausted, maybe they just want to sit down quietly.
And notice how natural that sounds. We don't usually say, I experienced a long day. We just say, I had a long day. Very soft, very human English.
Right? And we use this with emotions all the time. Like I had fun, I had a great time, I had a strange feeling, I had a bad feeling about it.
Oh, yes, I say that a lot. Like I had a weird feeling about that meeting, and people immediately know what I mean, even if I don't explain why.
And learners can absolutely use this too. Like I had a nice conversation today. or I had a stressful morning, or I had an interesting experience at work.
Exactly. And this is perfect everyday English. Not dramatic, not formal, just how people naturally talk about their lives.
We also use have for life events, like I had an interview, I had a test, I had a difficult conversation, and those sentences already carry emotion.
Yes. And sometimes you can hear someone say, I had a moment today, and that already feels deep, like something meaningful happened.
Now let's talk about some very common have plus noun phrases that native speakers use constantly, often without even realizing it.
Yes. And this is really important for learners because once you recognize these patterns, you can start using them everywhere without thinking too much.
For example, have a look. I say this all the time, like, hey, have a look at this photo or have a look at this message.
Oh, yes. Me too. It sounds friendly and relaxed, much softer than saying, look at this.
Exactly. And another one is have a try. Like when someone is unsure, you can say, just have a try, no pressure.
That's such encouraging English, honestly. Like when a student is nervous, I often say, just have a try. It's okay.
We also say have a think, like, let me have a think about it, instead of answering immediately.
Yes. And that gives you space. It sounds polite and thoughtful, not rushed.
Another super common one is have a chat, like, let's have a chat later, or we had a nice chat yesterday.
I love that phrase. It feels warm, relaxed, like no pressure conversation.
And of course, have a break, which is something learners really need to remember.
Yes. Have a break. Sit down, breathe, relax. Very natural, very everyday English. This actually reminds me of a student I taught a while ago. He was very good at grammar, honestly, really strong, but his English sounded stiff and tense.
Oh, I know this type of learner, very accurate, but not very relaxed.
Exactly. And one day he said to me, I know many words, but I don't know which ones to use when I speak, and I feel nervous every time.
That's such a real feeling.
So I asked him a simple question. I said, how was your weekend? And he paused for a long time, then said, my weekend was acceptable.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's correct, but it doesn't sound very natural.
Exactly. So I gently said, you can just say I had a good weekend or I had a quiet weekend. And he looked surprised and said, really, that's enough.
Ah, I love that moment when learners realize English can be simple.
Yes. And after that, he started using have more. Like I had a busy day, I had a meeting, I had a headache, and his English suddenly sounded much more relaxed.
That's such a powerful change. Just one word can change how confident someone feels. Now let's gently touch on something learners often ask. When should I use have instead of be or feel?
Yes, and don't worry. This is not about rules. It's about how English feels in daily life.
For example, you can say I am tired, but you can also say I have had a long day, and that feels more descriptive, more emotional.
Exactly. Or instead of saying I feel stressed, you can say I'm having a stressful week, and that sounds very natural.
And notice how have often connects the feeling to time or experience, not just a moment.
Yes, it feels like a small story, not just a label. All right, let's slow down for a moment and practice together. No pressure at all.
Think about today. Just today, what did you have?
Maybe you had coffee in the morning. Maybe you had a busy afternoon. Maybe you had a nice conversation with someone.
You can say it quietly, like I had a calm morning or I had a tough meeting.
And that's enough. That's already real English.
You know, the more we talk about have, the more I realize it's not just a verb, it's a way to talk about life.
Yes. And that's why it's so powerful. Because you don't need complicated grammar to express real feelings.
And if you remember just one thing from today, remember this. When you talk about your life, your day, your feelings, have is usually your friend.
Exactly. And the more you use it, the more natural it becomes, without thinking.
Thank you for spending this quiet time with us.
We hope this episode helped you feel more relaxed, more confident, and more connected to English.
Until next time, keep listening, keep practicing, and keep having small moments with English every day.